Today we're taking a deep dive into what might just be one of the most over-the-top, full-blown home theater soundbar systems I've ever tested. This is the Nakamichi Shockwafe 11.2.6 channel Dolby Atmos DTS X soundbar, the brand's brand new 2025 flagship. And when I say flagship, I mean it. Because this isn't just a soundbar, it's basically a home theater in a box. It's got upgraded dual 10-inch subwoofers, wireless bipolar surround speakers, 6 dedicated height channels, and something Nakamichi calls AHD Ultra technology powering 31.0 drivers. That's insane for something that still technically calls itself a soundbar. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to bring the energy of a premium IMAX screening into your living room, this might be the closest you'll get. So let's break down what this thing is really about. At the center, you have the main soundbar unit. But unlike most soundbars, this thing is a beast. Inside it are multiple directional drivers that cover your center channel, your front left and right, plus the new height channels that fire upward. It's built to create a 360-degree bubble of sound that completely surrounds you. And honestly, it does a better job at that than anything I've heard so far in the soundbar category. The dual 10-inch subwoofers are where things start getting wild. Most soundbar setups come with a single sub, and usually it's an 8-inch driver. Here you get not one, but two massive 10-inch subs, designed to shake your walls without breaking a sweat. The bass doesn't just hit hard, it fills the room in a way that feels balanced. You don't get that one-note boominess, you get layers of detail in the low end. Explosions in movies feel cinematic, but subtle things like the rumble of thunder or the deep notes in a soundtrack come through with precision. It's the kind of bass that makes you feel like you're in the middle of the action instead of just watching it on screen. Then there are the wireless bipolar surrounds. These are not your typical satellite speakers. Each one fires sound both forward and backward, which instantly makes the rear stage feel much larger than the physical speakers themselves. That means when you're watching an action sequence where sound should be flying around the room, it really does feel like it's moving past you instead of just coming from one fixed spot. And when you combine that with the 6 height channels built into the system, you're getting true 3D sound that pushes way beyond just left, right, and behind. Now, Nakamichi talks a lot about their AHD Ultra technology, and in practice, what that means is ultra-low distortion, ultra-precise timing, and incredible clarity even when things get loud. And with 31.0 drivers working together, it's hard to argue with the results. The way dialogue cuts through even in chaotic scenes is impressive. Voices stay sharp and centered, while all the effects and background elements wrap around you. I watched a couple of Dolby Atmos test tracks, plus some big blockbuster movie scenes, and honestly, the separation is better than many traditional AV receiver setups with large floor-standing speakers. That's not something I expected to say about a soundbar. Another thing I really like here is how much detail Nakamichi has put into tuning this system. The default profile is already excellent, but you can tweak it depending on your room and your preferences. The soundstage is incredibly wide, but what really stands out is the verticality. When helicopters fly overhead, you feel it above you. When raindrops are supposed to fall around, it's uncanny how realistic it sounds. And that's the kind of immersion you typically only get when you're wiring up a 9.2.4 or bigger system with a proper AVR and ceiling speakers. Of course, size and complexity do play into this. The Shockwafe 11.2.6 is not a compact system. The soundbar itself is big, the dual subs take up space, and the wireless surrounds aren't tiny either. So this is not the soundbar for someone living in a small apartment who just wants better sound than their TV speakers. This is meant for people who are building a serious home theater experience but don't want to deal with the headache of individual components, receivers, and calibration mics. You still get the setup convenience of a soundbar, but the scale and power of a full system. And let's talk about connectivity for a second. You get HDMI eARC support, multiple HDMI inputs,